It's movie time. We're back again with movie time. Hey everybody, how you doing? Hopefully you had a lovely couple of days, and welcome to Friday's movie time. And I am your host Grayson, as you know. And tonight we are having an exciting show. It's called It should be our year end, but we're not. We're having year end in review anyways because our show never ends. And with me tonight, we also have my two co-hosts. Hey Arpo, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. And you can sort of say it's the end of our fiscal year.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting and fun. And we also
Yes.
have my co-host Olaf. Hey Olaf, how you doing?
I am doing great. It's been just another lovely day in the great state of Indiana, and it's like kind of looking forward to doing this here review show.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to be back and reminiscing about our season, some of the highlights, some of the lowlights.
You promised you wouldn't tell.
I know. Well, it's like, feel free to start out with Arpo. Any shows that stood out in your mind that were like absolutely mind-blowing?
Michael Mendelsohn.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. What a great, great man. Not only one of the savviest men in Hollywood, but one of the nicest. I mean, the fact that he is willing to sponsor a writing contest, a screenwriting contest, which reminds me, folks, start getting those screenplays into us.
Yep.
We want to read them. We're going to pick the best 5. We're going to send them on to Michael, and somebody is going to get, at the very least, a scholarship, possibly even a green light for production. It could happen.
It can happen
to you. The dream can come true.
Yep. And you don't have to have had previous experience with it. He's willing to start somebody brand new.
In fact, I think he would almost prefer to.
Yep. So, Olaf, is there a specific show that first off comes to your mind?
Wow, there's so many great shows, and I'm going to say it's like the one with Ben Yenny was good. That's like I really enjoyed that one. That was a good one, and it's like then the one with Steve was a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
There's been so many good. It's hard to pick just one. That really jumps out at you.
I know, it's like trying to pick a favorite child. You can't pick a favorite child.
Well, I can think of one particular.
Sure, you can.
I can think of one particularly excellent episode that maybe Grayson would not necessarily have in her memory since she wasn't here. And that was our Do's and Don'ts of Pitching show.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I think that is probably my most absolute favorite show. Because the monkeys were running the show.
There you go.
That's right. We had fun, but it was informative too.
Yep. And I have to say that it's like something that from the shows, yes, Michael was great. Also, Jerome Kirshen was lovely. Ellie Partovi, Catherine Swan. Oh gosh, it's like the list goes on and on of people who were like Steve Mangap. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, it's like the list goes on and on and on. Like I said, if I had to, I can't pick out just one particular favorite. It's like there's so many of them. And also Carol and Carol from last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was really excellent.
That was
and Catherine Swan. I mean, how many people invite you to come scuba diving over coral reefs?
Right.
You have to love a person like that.
Yeah.
Forced.
And Ellie Partovi, well, it's like when she was talking about female roles in filmmaking and stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, that was awesome.
The show that I refer to as the interview that ran itself, because we hardly had to ask any questions. She kept answering them before we could ask them.
Because she's that brilliant in that sense. It's like,
Yes.
yeah. And goodness, it's like, you know, some of the things that we had also had, yes, Ben Yenny as well. Like I said, you know, oh my goodness, it's like if we went through the year in reviews of shows, it's like we've had so many great seasons. So and Franco Sama coming back, you know,
Yes.
to us and really doing a lovely thing with the executive, like tying up the executive producing end. Michael Gianfrido and the interview that we had with him twice, which by the way, he will be back again.
Right.
And
Ooh, excellent.
and
If you had
Leron
to-
Artsy.
If you had to pick one moment out of this whole year as your favorite moment, a high point.
Huh.
Goodness, as a high point would probably, I have to say also the fact that we all discovered we all like white chocolate peanut butter.
Yes. I was actually going to say, in terms of entertaining moments on the show, what I call the peanut butter orgy with Leron Artsy was, I never saw a man get so excited about peanut butter
Yes.
that he was almost ready to walk out on the interview just to go buy some.
We all were. We were like, let's get in our cars right now.
And oh hell, I'll give them one free plug. These are the people, Peanut Butter and Company, and this is actually their Mighty Maple. I've been having this on my Eggo waffles, and I have to say it's tremendous.
Yeah.
You know, I think he actually, like, after the show was over, after the show was over and we were in the show chat, I think he actually left and went to Walmart to get some.
Yep. I think that everybody did.
Yeah. Well, I waited till the next day, but I was up early.
Yeah. And we're also going to give a mini plug into Justin's as well. He's also making some fabulous peanut butter.
Yes. Did that shipment ever come?
It's coming. It's on its way, I hope.
I hope so too. If you don't get it soon, let me know. I'll call up and say you promised.
Yep. It's like, so yes, buy Justin's peanut butter. Help support
Yes.
a healthier lifestyle.
That's right.
Olaf, can you think of one that it's a highlight also in your memories?
Oh, like I said, so hard to pick. About that. That's like I had nothing really. I said I have a hard time deciding which one's which.
Mm-hmm. And choosing just one, huh?
You know, I heard a loud clunk. He may have fallen over and hit the coffee table again.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's like there's that. There's also, goodness, let's see. Another thing that it's like we brought forward also about diversity in the arts, which has been a major one.
That's right. And we made a rot steak about it too, as was deserved.
Yeah, and talking about the importance of now dealing with women in film, as well as also a diversity in film with the different filmmakers and different views.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's also was a very interesting part of this year in our theme of diversity. In that, as well as also dealing on higher and lower budgets. Another one, the timing show, dealing with timing on film.
Yeah.
You know, when is it the right time to open? When is it not the right time?
Indeed. And oddly enough, a movie that you would say this was a terrible time to premiere that movie this past week,
Yep.
finished second in the box office,
Very true.
referring to Ladies' Night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like
So
amazing timing.
that's the exception that proves the rule, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
I actually read everybody knows how crazy I am about Valerian and Laureline.
Yes.
And I went to see the movie and I loved the movie, but I did read an article today, a very interesting article about why the movie is doing so poorly.
Mm-hmm. And
And of
what
course,
did the article mention?
well, one of the main reasons, of course, is the fact that it's a French comic strip that isn't really well known in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's known in parts of Europe, but not all parts, and it's virtually unknown in the US, except for those of us who are fond of the bizarre and unusual.
Yes.
They also made a very, because we always talk about the importance of the trailer,
Yes.
very interesting point about the trailer. All the trailers for this movie. Now, you've seen some of the trailers for it, right?
Yes.
What's the movie about?
Hmm. It kind of confused me a little bit.
Exactly. The trailers were gorgeous to look at, but they didn't tell you anything about the story.
True.
It was like Luc Besson, who gave us such classics as The Fifth Element and Lucy.
Yes.
He was looks like he was relying on the special effects to be enough to draw in the audience.
Yes.
And yet, you know, it's summer. All the movies have these enormous special effects.
Yeah.
Stories. Now,
Yes.
Valerian had a story too. I thought it had a very good story. But who would know it from watching the preview trailers?
Mm-hmm.
They never talk about the plot.
No. It showed me a bunch of effects. It's like, again, unless you're familiar with it,
Yeah.
not so much.
And number three, and this is something you and I have discussed off the air, it's the fact that he cast two virtual unknowns in the lead roles.
Yes. And that can work for you or against you. It depends on the actual story itself. If you understood what the story was, you wouldn't be upset that it was two unknown people in that role, because you could set that aside.
And if you knew the comics, you would be looking at these two unknowns and going, "Oh my God, they look just like the characters."
Exactly.
Yes, they really do. They really, really do.
Yes. But if you don't, then it becomes one of those things of,
who are these people?
Exactly. Now, there was also another interesting article that came across today that was really interesting. IMAX finally realizes audiences don't want 3D movies.
Really?
Yes.
I do.
Yes. Well, it's like a lot of people still do, but they're talking about a lot of people not liking it. And the article goes on to state that in 2009, they had a vision for 3D. But in 27 billion worldwide later, audiences believe the format is to be a savior. But really, the funny thing is that it happened that 8 years have passed and the audiences have cooled out on the whole thing, because now it's become very commonplace.
Yeah. And I do know too that even with all the advances they've made in 3D, there's still a large percentage of the population that get a headache from it.
Yes. So there is a validity to that statement.
Yeah.
So we've had quite a few interesting breakthroughs. Uh-oh, I believe we lost our Olaf.
Yes, we lost him about 10 minutes ago.
Ay, ay, ay.
He probably, as we were talking about the peanut butter, he probably ran out to get some.
I know. We just got to stop advertising that peanut butter.
Well, and yeah, he was complaining about only having one bar, and I think I made him jealous when I said I had two within walking distance. So
Yep, he's just got to get better bars
yeah,
and more of them. But yes, it's one of those things of having these interesting little things. Also, another one that comes to mind is when we were talking about, is it, better to have the flashy movie or the movie with substance?
yeah, and
You
that
know,
was a very nice debate because we were split right down the middle because you will
yep,
always take a movie with substance over special effects.
yes,
Olaf will always take a movie with special effects over substance, and I want a movie that has substance and special effects.
exactly,
And let me tell you, those are hard to find.
yes. So I mean that yet added in another interesting layer, and then of course Sid Haig, our interview with him.
Oh, what a fascinating man. He's done it all. He's seen it all. Man.
Yeah, and Bill Messner Loeb, who gave us a really good view into the history of writing into animation and film
Mm-hmm.
and into comic books. Like, oh my God, as I said, I am Max obsessed, and yes, I am, and so therefore, it's like having the interview with him was just absolutely amazing. It was like, okay, there you go, getting to meet one of your heroes.
Yeah, really. That would be like if I ever met Stan Lee, I would I would faint right there.
Book him on
That
the
man is
show.
like that man is like God to me.
Yes, we must book him on the show.
I want to give him a little bit of time to mourn his wife.
Yes,
That
and
was a truly tragic day for comic book lovers as
yes,
well as for him. Because that woman was a rock when his
yeah,
world was falling apart, when Marvel was about to go under.
mm-hmm.
She helped them keep it together.
Yes. And again, may she rest in peace, as well as also
Yes.
all of the actors that we lost over this time period. It's like it's been quite a few tragedies that have
Yes.
happened, and musicians and stuff. And it's like this is another thing that we tried to highlight for people. It's like during our year, we've had a lot of really interesting episodes and interesting people. It's like even one of our own in the machinima world, we may as well say her name out loud because her name was
Yes.
Lucinda, and whether you liked her work or hated her work, she was a machinima person and a member of our community.
She gave and gave and gave. I mean, and
Yes,
if she created a mod, I know a lot of people that create mods and the sell, for a very small price, paid for them. She always gave her mods away for free.
yes,
Always. No matter
and
how much work it was for her.
yes, and whether it was good or bad, again, whether her work was good, bad, indifferent, it's like it is still the fact that she will be missed.
Yes.
She was part of our machinima community, and she will be missed.
Yes.
It's like also there has been this year has also been an interesting year for virtual reality. We spoke about and its breakthroughs. We've talked about a lot of technology that's happened over this year
Yeah.
and technological changes.
Yep. Still a lot of debate about whether or not virtual reality is going to be the next big thing for movies. I'd say it's right down the middle. Half of the people we've talked to have said yes. Half the people we've talked to have said it won't work.
Exactly.
So it's going to
And
be
only
interesting to see what happens.
yeah, and only time will tell.
Mhm.
And I mean, there's just been, like I said, so many wonderful interviews. We've had so many great topics that we've also covered in time. It's like also dealing with why don't they make movies the way that they used to make movies? Have the audience, lost their intellect, or is it that we're just presuming that they lost it?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, will Hollywood ever have another 1939? I don't think so.
no.
That was, you talk about the golden years of Hollywood. 1939 was the platinum year
Yep.
for Hollywood.
And, all of it, the capital stack, it's like, even our discussion with the John Reese
Yes.
and with Michael Sallert,
Mm-hmm.
great discussions. It's like with Michael Gianfrido and Michael Mendelsohn, both of them giving us the clearest views on the capital stack.
Yeah.
And how to build your capital stack. If you want to know how to build your capital stack, listen to those episodes. They're textbook. It's like, why this project in regards to it. Like, we had that great show about that. We also had, like I said, the right pitch. Is it a good pitch? What makes a good pitch? What doesn't make a good pitch? We talked about our tax incentives.
Yes. That could be an absolute. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things in that article about Valerian, was they were talking about how much money it cost,
Mm-hmm.
money it's not making,
Yep.
and a lot of what it cost is being taken care of by tax incentives and equity credits.
Yep.
The studio has said we're actually only in the hole for about $20 million.
Interesting.
Else, even though the movie cost over $170 million to make.
Yep. And so it's really interesting when you think about the tax credit models. And we had talked about that, as well as also we had talked about body image and editing and the relationship with that. So these are some really powerful episodes that we've had in regards to it. It's like that one was particularly a hit hard one, because it's like when we had seen that episode where they showed the lady from Suicide Squad that they actually photoshopped her body.
Yeah.
Thinner, even though she's actually quite thin as she is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've had quite a few exciting episodes.
In fact, let me check something. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. My computer is so slow.
And we also talked about contract negotiations as well. As well as to sequel or not to sequel. Whether it is nobler to sequel or to leave it as a single production behind.
Yeah, and what's the deal with, why does everything have to be? Yes, it was the Enchantress.
Yes,
right?
Enchantress.
Okay.
Yes.
You know who played her?
I can never. Cara
Delevingne, the girl who plays Laura in Valerian.
Yes.
So there you go, people. You have seen her before. So there.
And in many other productions as well. So.
Well, actually, she's been a model.
Yes. So at a model's body, they still had to Photoshop her.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what's the matter? She wasn't skinny enough?
Apparently not. Apparently having hips is a problem for them, or a healthy body image. She had to look thinner.
Yeah. I've seen her in a swimsuit. She's perfect.
Yes. So.
That sounded terrible. Okay, everybody knows that's why men subscribe to Sports Illustrated. That's the real reason, the swimsuit issue.
Oh, no, they say they do it for the articles.
They're supposed to say that about Playboy.
Of course.
Yeah. I only get Playboy for the articles and the fiction.
Yes.
Oh, there's women in there too? Oh, I'll have to look for that.
Yeah. I hardly notice them against the articles.
Yeah. And of
Yes.
course, the only reason why people buy the New Yorker is for the comics.
Of course. Yeah, it's like, that's quite obvious.
Especially back when James Thurber was doing them and nobody understood them.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've had a lot of great topics. And that one, dealing with body image, it's like also, why is it that heavier set actors are not considered for certain roles? Why is it that we Photoshop body images? It's like, why we Photoshop people, with already good bodies into that. It's like, they had a whole article of actors who have slight imperfections and yet still are really famous in Hollywood.
Yeah. And why do you have to be thin to be in a movie? I mean, let's face it. I was made for widescreen, baby.
There you go. It's like, no, not everybody has to be a size 0 or a -0
Definitely
to be able to be considered. And I mean, also, it's like, as well, have to think more along the lines of, movies in terms of, box office. It's like, if those images are good or not good.
Yeah. Absolutely. And quite frankly, who cares what they look like as long as they can act?
Yeah. Well, because it's like, we've all grown up to look at the Hollywood sex symbol, and we forgot all about the fact that it's like, it's about talent.
That's right.
We all look the same with our with our skin. So it's like, it should be all about our talent and making sure that our talent is highlighted.
And if you have any doubt about that, as I've always said, Steve Buscemi,
Mm-hmm.
outstanding actor.
Yes.
Not much to look at, but my God, he's brilliant.
Yeah, it's like in really interesting stuff.
Yep.
And and again, it's like, it's also talking about it in terms of male images as well as female images of what we consider to be Hollywood screen symbols. Only it's like, for male images, they tend to go a little bit of a broader range. But even then, they kind of still stereotype it.
Yeah.
It's like, I haven't seen the latest movie of where, unless it's a comedy, where the hero has been somebody of overweight nature.
Yeah, for some reason, everybody thinks fat is funny.
Yeah. Well, and
that's why I like the movie Fatso. Yes, it's a comedy, but Dom DeLuise really did evoke a sense of pathos in that movie as well.
Exactly. And it was an enjoyable picture.
Yes.
There's been many of enjoyable pictures and stuff. So it's like, I see no reason as to, like I said, in terms of body image, it's like, yes, obviously ideal, that we'd love to look at people who have a really nice body, but what's considered really a really nice body?
I think it's different for everyone. So what's the thing with, it has to be a specific image.
Yeah. I saw a woman today's image that somebody asked me to describe it in one word, and the word emaciated came to mind. She was literally a skeleton on legs.
Mm-hmm.
She had starved herself to the point of emaciation. Yep. And I'm like, that's not an attractive body image. I wouldn't want to see that on screen.
Yeah.
So why is it attractive to see somebody with their ribs practically sticking out?
You got me hanging.
Yeah, or it's like, doesn't have the ideal face. It's like, oh my God, they look like the average person. They don't look like a supermodel. A lot of times I've had issues over my years, and this is a personal thing, with the whole thing of a supermodel. Because it's like, okay, you're showing me the clothing on somebody who's a size 8 or 10.
Yeah.
At the time when I was really paying attention to it. I was a size 8 or 10, but it certainly didn't look that way on me.
Yeah.
At the time, I was sometimes even a 5'6", and it didn't look that way on me. I certainly did not look like the way that they were looking on the runway.
Well, it's all models. I mean, what they do to themselves to have specific proportions is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yes. And this is why
And
I'm
I
glad a
don't
lot.
see beauty in that.
No. And in terms of actors, it's like, as I said, I see a lot of actors that it's like, no, they're not the ideal body shape, but hey, they're very talented.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, as much as he wants us to believe it, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. Tom Cruise, you can't act.
I would say the same thing about Johnny Depp.
Yeah. I've seen him do a couple of things that I liked. I liked him in Chocolat. Every once in a while he'll do something.
Yeah. I liked Tom Cruise in Rock of Ages. He made an excellent Stacey Jacks.
Well, I didn't much care for Rock of Ages, so But I did like. Okay, I'll give Tom Cruise some credit here. I liked him in Magnolia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played a total piece of crap, but he played it really well, and it's one of the few times where I've really seen him act.
Mm-hmm. I guess it also just depends on, what's the plot, what's going on. Again, we talked about this. It's like pulling out great performances. This is something we talked about over the year. It's like how to pull out a great performance with the actor-director relationship, the actor-editor relationship.
But it has to start with the actor-writer relationship.
Yes.
The writer has to know how to write for the actor. When an actor gets cast, the writer has to face the fact that the dialogue may have to change to suit the actor.
Mm-hmm. This is very true. Because you know what? It's like, as a writer, one of the things you have to realize is you can't be married to your words. Yeah. Sometimes an actor will have a better spin on it.
Every word I write is gold.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, yeah, it's got to be said exactly that way, exactly the way I heard it in my head when I wrote it.
That's right.
Yeah,
because
no, it
that's
doesn't
what
work
makes
that
it
way.
Work. No? Oh.
I know.
How
Sadly,
sad.
yes, it's like, and a lot of writers don't realize that it's like, yeah, even your first iteration of the script, by the time it gets onto camera, it's gone through so many editorial changes. It's like sometimes you're going, okay, was this even the plot that I even started out with, or the movie that I started out with? That you guys bought? Why did you buy it? If all you did was change everything, well, guess what? You have to sometimes change it. Yeah. Certain things don't make artistic sense. Or it looked really good on paper, but then when you had to actually put it into production, you were going to take a production that would have cost you $20 million and make it a $200 million because you can't do it.
Yeah.
So there has to become modifications to that.
Yeah.
Or the actors that are there, it's like you have to, again, design plot, you design it towards them, the dialogue, something makes more sense to them, and it makes more sense to the director, it makes more sense to the actual movie itself, so they rewrite the line.
Yeah.
You can't be married to it. And
it's an example of that. If you go online, there are websites where you can read original screenplays for movies. I went to it and I started reading the original screenplay for the South Park movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what movie is this? this this is not the South Park movie. Wait a minute, this is like totally different.
Yeah. And what kind of differences were there? Give an example.
Well, all the songs were different, for one thing. It was like, wow, this is weird. The whole opening sequence was different. Or another good example, at one time you could buy in bookstores the screenplay to Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm.
And in the center of the script, of the shooting script, is the original screenplay for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the original screenplay jumped back and forth between the story of King Arthur and a present day story of a guy named Art.
Okay.
And it kept jumping back and forth. And it's like, does this is just strange.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up cutting out all of the present day stuff and just keeping it historical, except, of course, for a couple of minor scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, much improved.
Yeah. And therefore, it's like that was a perfect example of it. Or when you're doing an adaptation from a book to a movie. A lot of people get very mad. It's like, oh, it's not like the book. Or, when you're watching a series, damn it, it's not like the book that this series is based on. It's like, I'm sorry, but you can't use everything from a book into a movie or into a TV series.
Yes.
There are also things that do need to be changed because they make more artistic sense.
Right. Anybody that was disappointed in a Harry Potter movie, it's like, I'm sorry, but they really did make the best possible movies they could out of those books.
Yes.
And even J.K. Rowling admitted that.
Yeah.
Movies any better than they did.
Yes. Because, no, they couldn't. They did the best that they could with the material that they had. Or the people who are like, oh my God, I can't believe that this person was cast in Twilight. Whether you liked it or hated the series, again, in terms of that, it's like I loved reading Stephenie Meyer's books.
Yeah.
And, it's like with the movies, it's like I really did enjoy them. Sorry, audience who were like, oh God, no. But to me, I did enjoy them. Did I absolutely 100% agree that Pattinson should have been Edward? I could have thought of others.
Yeah, exactly.
But yet,
Kirsten Stewart as Bella, really, it was like she was too emotionally detached from the movie. And
exactly.
It really didn't work for me. In fact, it made me not want to see the rest of the series.
Yeah.
After watching the first one, I said, I can't watch 2 or 3 more movies with these 2 actors playing these parts.
See, where it's like I did watch them all, and I did enjoy parts 2 and 3, but where I also sat there and said, really, they didn't do themselves any service with certain ones.
Yeah.
And like I said, again, that's just an opinion. It's not fact of whether I enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it. That was, again, my opinion of I happen to have enjoyed it. Other people, it's like, as you said, yes, I could forget. In my way, I was sitting there saying, okay, I can forgive the fact that it's like Kristen Stewart does not embody Bella in any way, shape, or form. Because I'm enjoying the fact of, the plot itself.
Olaf, can you hear me? Olaf!
Welcome back.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The internet hates me tonight.
Uh-oh.
We were concerned. I heard a loud thump, and then you made no sound for a long time, and I thought, oh dear, did he fall and hit his head on the coffee table again?
Yeah, no, just the internet hates me.
Uh,
Okay, we've been doing all the talking, so it's your turn. We're going to shut up
yes.
now.
Well, it's like what we are on is subjects that with our shows that really hit home to us.
um, for me, I think the one about it's like the guarantor.
Yes.
It's like I really liked that one. So I really enjoyed that, and learned quite a bit because I didn't realize that how much they actually do to you know make your film, or to it's like see that your film gets made, and you know
Mm-hmm.
watch your for pitfalls, and if you have problems, instead of like not being able to figure out how to solve them, you've got the guarantor to be right there and go, okay, let's try this or this or this. um I thought that was just really, it's like really interesting, and
Yes.
didn't realize that they were that much from start to finish on the film, and having a guarantee, just a guarantor involved in a film.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much your film's going to get made. It's going to get done on time,
Yep.
and whether it doesn't make it at the box office or not, they can't control that. But you have your best options, or the best option of actually getting it made and turning it into some money. It's like
Yep.
guarantor on the job.
Oh, yeah, it's an accepted fact. More than one
Yes.
Hollywood movie has been saved by the guarantor.
Yes. And the fact that it's like that they're little ninjas.
Right.
It's like they're the ninja on set that and the secret weapon that you don't get to see or know about unless you actually can know who they are.
Yeah.
So yes, so that that's one I really liked.
Oh yeah. So with Steve Mangal, and we were also talking about,
Hmm.
for example, with Bill Messner Loeb when he was talking about the art of writing for animation.
Oh right, yes, another good one.
Yeah, and we were
We have
Yeah,
too
talking.
a lot
many.
of people don't realize that that's entirely different than writing a screenplay for live action.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, and that was really refreshing. And we also were talking as well about, for example, talking about body image in Hollywood and the ideal actors. Instead, and is it about the story or is it about the visual effects? We've done that one, and diversity as well
Hmm.
through our years. It's like with through this season with female directors and talking about the art of having that in as part of our cap and parts of our capital stack put together. It's like this year has been a really informative one. The
Yes, it
only
has.
the only thing we haven't had yet is an agent, a casting agent this year.
Well, let's get one.
Yeah, I will ask Angela if she wants to come aboard and talk with us. And
Yes, it's like
Becky, go on.
You don't have to apologize.
I was just going to say I haven't made it there yet, so you can't interview me yet for that one.
Oh, you'll get there soon enough. Yep. And I mean, that's going to be an interesting set of episodes as well for all of
This
us.
whole, it's like this season for movie time is just like you said, has been so informative. We've had some just amazing guests on, and
Yes.
almost all of them want to come back. They want to come back
Yes.
and talk to us again. So it's
And I think that's the
just,
best part of it.
yeah. Well,
Yes.
you're doing something good when you talk to somebody, you interview somebody, and it's like, hey, can I come back? Oh, we'd love to have you back. It's like you're doing something good, and the
Yes.
fans are, as our fans grow, we get more and more fans. You know, it's just awesome to be able to interview all these different people with all the different things in movie making, and the amount of information we've given out this season put into the hands of our listeners is just phenomenal.
Yep. And we're
And just I'm sorry, I have to applaud us. You can hear that, so I'm applauding us, the audience.
woohoo! We get it. I did hear that. It's like woo. It's like, yes, our shows have been extremely, extremely good. And that's why when I'm asked, well, what episode should I listen to of Movie Time to find out about this or that, I'm like, don't listen to just one. Listen to them all.
Right.
And you'll find out about everything. I
Yes.
thought of something else we haven't had this year that at least I don't remember us having.
Mm-hmm.
A cinematographer.
No, we have not spoken to our cinematographers yet. So what a wonderful opportunity for that.
Yes.
And we also haven't had an editor aboard also either this year.
We need a regular editor, and also we need to have a trailer editor.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, we also, that was another one that was really good. Jason Brubaker as having our very first aggregator on the show, too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
To talk about aggregation versus versus a distributor.
Yeah.
It's like, that was very interesting, that show. Did you know even what was the main things between aggregators and distributors and how that process worked?
I knew that they were two different jobs, but I never quite understood the difference between them until we talked to him.
Yeah.
It was like,
and it's like, oh, so that's what it is.
They don't care about the advertising at all. You just care about getting the movie out there. Which is a good thing, in one respect.
Yes.
His whole job is to make sure your movie gets out there, whereas a marketing person is, like, well, let's see, we gotta check this market and that market, and I'm not knocking that. Obviously, That's important too, but it's just interesting how different the two jobs are, and yet they're both ways of successfully getting your movie
out there. Yeah.
Right. And you could do your movie with one or the other, but if you put both of them in there, that's just giving you the best of both worlds.
Yep. And
I'd be afraid of them getting into a fight. No, back.
Well, and you know what? With aggregators and distributors, it's like it was also interesting to understand the reasons why you would use one over another.
Right.
Or why you may want to choose not to use one or the other. And so I thought that was a quite fascinating show too. It's like to understand that world of distribution.
Yeah.
Or also it's like having Chris on here. It's like Chris also managed to do that as well for us, and he is actually a person who deals with web content, and so it's like we were talking with him and his editing world because he does trailer editing.
Yeah.
So yes, it's like I would love to be able to interview him more and talk about trailers. So, and I know that he's looking forward to coming back to us next season.
So now, with trailers, are you talking about like a fifth wheel trailer, or it's like a bumper tow trailer? Is that or a different kind of trailer?
The film trailer.
Oh, film trailer. Oh, okay.
Yes.
That kind of trailer.
And the importance of film trailer. You weren't on here when I was talking about the movie Valerian.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
But I read an article about why the movie was doing so poorly, and one of the things they blamed it on was the trailers.
Yep.
Because if you saw trailers for Valerian, you may have noticed they never actually told you what the movie was about.
Yeah. So it's the
They were gorgeous.
they were visually stunning, but with no substance.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that it's important in your movie trailer, to think of what the movie's about.
Yep.
I mean, yes, you want to visually stun your audience as well, but they have to know there's a plot.
Yep.
And especially with a product like Valerian, which is not well known in America, it's really
Yes.
important to show people that, yes, there is a story. Yes, these characters are going to do things besides look at all this incredible scenery.
Exactly. But you had to have understood it. And this is another thing that we talked about, is what it makes an interesting trailer. Another subject that we had also spoken of is over the year, as I said, other than building your capital stack and building your editing process, it's like, what makes interesting writing? Like, what kind of subjects? Good writings, bad writings. What do you want to convey to the audience as a writer? We've spoken to quite a few of them over our season.
Yeah. Including one real scary one.
Yep.
Deborah Moffat. I tell you, I
Yes.
still get chills when I think about that interview.
Absolutely. So it's like, yes, that was a quite interesting interview. It's like to hear all about that haunting.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just like, whoa. And the fact that it's like, yeah, it really did happen. This wasn't one of those like just ghosty stories.
Yes. And please, Hollywood, I know you're making a movie out of it. Please, please, please don't make it a found footage film.
Yes. I beg, we're begging you, from all of us at Movietime, please keep it to a movie that's actually a movie.
Yes. And don't make it another episode of The Conjuring. Because as good a people as the McBains were, they didn't really do that much on this one.
No. And so for all of those people in Hollywood, you've heard our plea.
Yes.
And we've also had some great calls to action this year too.
That's right.
Let's not forget that.
We had the petition to ask the president Trump not to defund the National Endowment for the Arts.
Correct.
That when we reported on the story, it was an online petition with about 4,700 signatures. And by the following week, the following Friday, just 7 days later, had over 100,000.
Yep.
That's you people out there. That's you listeners. Good on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And of course, our fan mail, which we love, which is consists of even people like Dominic W. and also Anna and also Patricia. We loved reading your letters.
Yes.
We encourage more audience letters.
Write us. We want to know what we're doing right. We want to know what we're doing wrong.
Yep. We want to know about the shows you want to hear.
We want to know what we're doing.
We want to know the shows you want to hear as well.
Definitely. Do you want us to try to get more actors? Do you want us to try and get more writers, more behind the scenes people?
Yeah.
Tell us what you want.
Craft service, craft service people. Who do you want to talk to?
Hey, you'd be surprised. That could be a very interesting interview.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
A lot of stuff does happen in craft services that people don't realize.
Yeah.
It's like, and like I said, one of the movies that if you ever wanted to even have an inkling, even though it was a funny version of it, A lot of it, it's like if you are a film person, goes, oh my god, that so rings true. Living in Oblivion. If you watch that movie, it's like, as I said, even though they do a comedic take of it, of some of it, it is absolutely really factual.
Yeah.
That movie is a slice of life film. And there's another movie that I would say, if you are a filmmaker, definitely watch it, because it's like, yeah, that is what the reality of it is actually when you go there. Except craft services would never be that sloppy. We love you, craft services. Please make sure that for all of the productions that you're doing really, really super well.
That's right. And remember, the extras are people to feed them nicely.
Yep. And just a mini shout out to Top Hat Catering company who helped out in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of you. You told me about that, and that was like, oh, and I wasn't there.
Yes, they're amazing people, and their food is absolutely divine. So
Yum.
it's like there it is, a ringing endorsement, and we look forward to working with Top Hat as well. Another thing that finding out about Audible, that's something very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be also, for all of you that are interested to know, we will be coming up on Audible very soon. So you can hear a lot of our podcasts over again. On not that we don't have our 14 stations, but our 14 stations will now have a helping hand from Audible, as
Yes.
well as also other software as well that is coming out. It's like we are fortunate to also have people coming up on our shows, and as I said, this isn't really our end of year show per se, because we don't really have an end of year. We have amazing guests coming up.
We just keep going until we decide, okay, we need a break for a couple weeks,
Yep.
which is usually right around AFM time.
Well, it's like we do podcasts for the AFM, so the American Film Market, for all of you guys, and it's like, what would you say though is our most hilarious moments on the show when we don't take ourselves so seriously? I have to say our piracy episode.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Yeah, that would be that's what I was going to say. The piracy episode. It was good.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think we're all agreed on that one. That was
Yes,
It's like, but all of our shows are fun.
they are.
we do try to have fun, but the important thing is we try to have fun, but we do take everything that we do on here seriously.
Yes, because we want to be able to give you the best information.
Right. But we don't want to be so serious that people aren't entertained.
Right.
True.
Which is why, one of these days we should record. Oh.
We really should, for audiences.
When we're getting all of our sillies out.
Yes. It's like, what does go on with these movie time people behind the scenes?
Yes.
Well, one time we'll record it for you, so then that way you'll understand.
Yes. That we really are insane.
And understand what we do behind the scenes.
And yes,
yes, we do have the dark side.
I really do think he talks to me.
Mm-hmm. Also, you'll get to see us, of course, have our 90th cup of coffee.
I did finally stop drinking coffee, but yeah, the caffeine continues. See, I told you I wasn't going to make it through the whole show.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's either unsweet tea, or it could be Big Red, but More times than not, it's unsweet tea.
I've seen the vodka in that bottle. Yeah,
You know, vodka and Mountain Dew is not a mixed drink. It's just nature.
that's
Yes,
right.
it's cough syrup. That's what it is. It's cough syrup.
Uh-huh.
No, wait. I'm sorry. Cough syrup is Dr. Pepper and a vodka.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's the tonic. And every once in a while, we do talk about naturopathic solutions like having zinc for muscle sores and for arthritis.
Yes.
That's right. You can learn about a little bit of everything on this show. A little
Yep.
bit of healthcare, a few beauty tips,
Yep.
how I get this beard so fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a hint. It has to do with shampoo and conditioner.
I was going to say leaf blower, but hey.
Well, that's after the shampoo and
Oh,
conditioner.
that's how you dry it. Leaf blower.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you
And it's like how we wind up with like hair like this that looks like alfalfa. Clever.
Yes.
This is why bagel ears help.
go. Or why you wind up looking like this. Ah, hi.
Yay!
Hey!
Woo!
Talk about beards. There we go. Beard.
Yeah, you
Okay,
look
enough of that.
fashionable.
Yes. Okay. Don't want to
Yes, he
scare
looks
off the listeners.
fashionable. I look like a guy that just. I
Well,
do need
mine
to get
mine
this
has
trimmed.
mine has a purpose though. It's like my beard has purpose. I keep it shaped and things and grooming it for my December duties as Santa Claus. So I can't let it get
Yes,
too unruly.
very true. And like I said, that we've had fabulous sets of shows, and we plan on bringing you more fabulous sets of shows. And eventually, yes, we will be having a hiatus. I'm sorry, folks, but that's the way that the time happens. That we will need a hiatus time.
And
And
if it's any consolation, we'll miss you just as much as you miss us.
absolutely. But you'll have
Yes.
95 episodes to catch up on 14 other podcasting stations. And for all of those who have not started in our 5-year journey, you can start from year 1. We're like
That's
that
right.
novel. We're like that novel who is like after you read all 23 episodes, you can go back to episode number 1 and still get information.
Right. That's the funny thing. Is it doesn't seem like that I've been doing this for 4 years. I mean, you started like 5 years ago, but it doesn't really feel like I've been doing this for 4 years. That's a long time, and it's like it's always been fun. I always enjoyed doing the show. But
Yep.
when you stop thinking, I'm like
Oh,
going, wow, I've done this for 4 years. Wow.
hey. Well, for me, the time is flown. I feel like I've been doing this less than a year. Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's like
But again, you can listen to our shows forward, backwards, sideways, whatever order you want to listen to them in. Unless, it's specifically labeled part 1, part 2, then you might want to, listen to them in order.
Yeah, because
yes, so that you
if you
get
listen to part 2 first, then you get spoilers on part 1. It's just not as good.
That's right.
yeah.
It was kind of like my favorite book when I was a little boy. It was about a train. The book was called From Timbuktu to Kalamazoo.
Yes.
And it was about a little train that started in Timbuktu, and it told all the things that the train passed by until it made it to Kalamazoo. And then, if you wanted the train to go back to Timbuktu, you read the book backwards,
Nice.
and you'd end up in Timbuktu again.
Yep.
I always thought that was so cool when I was a kid, because it sure as heck didn't work with the pokey little puppy.
No, just doesn't work as well.
No.
And it's like, goodness, as I said, we've talked about so many things, publicity and actors, and we also did Vision Con this year, and it's like, again, Vision Con was amazing. So we've just had like a fantastic year, and we plan on having many more fantastic years with you guys.
And even fantasticer.
Yes. And we're going to have a lot of great guests coming in on our next season as well. And Michael Mendelsohn will be back with us. Unfortunately, fortunately for him, and unfortunately for us, though, he is away at the moment, but he will be back and ready to see all of our new contest entries. So make sure that you get your contest stuff over to us. If you want your screenplay to be even considered, it has to be out there. Pull it out of the woodworks. Bring it to us.
I'm already, coming up with a false email and a fake name to do my entry.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
and I'm sure that Olaf has his.
I am recused from the contest. I'm one of the judges. I'm not allowed to enter it. I know.
Correct. It's like, Olaf, you cannot change it to one of the pet names.
Oh, darn it. Okay.
And he had this great premise, too. He was telling me about it before the show. It's called RoboKitty.
Yeah.
Man, it sounds like it could be the sci-fi action film of the year.
It's like, RoboKitty, and it's like RoboKitty and his sidekick, Cataract.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. It's like, so therefore, it's like, you know what? You have to maybe check it out. It might become your next Machinima project. Although it's like, I found it interesting. Which one of you have ever seen the movie Captain Underpants?
No.
No. Can't say that I have.
Okay. The only reason I would be curious is because for years we had a Machinima series called Underpants Man.
Yes.
So therefore, it's like, not sure that of how that differs with Underpants Man and Captain Underpants.
Well, Captain Underpants is based upon a series of children's books.
So was Underpants Man.
No, actually, Underpants Man was originally created as a one-off for a contest that was being run by TMOA Radio.
Yes.
And then he made it into a series because everybody loved it so much.
See? Again, it's one of those things of, you never know when your idea should have made it to Hollywood.
That's right.
Now, if you don't submit your screenplay to the contest, look, this could have been you.
Yeah.
You could have been, it's like those people who did Underpants Man, you could have been Captain Underpants.
Yeah.
That could have been you. It's like, how many other stories have been like that? Because you weren't brave enough to show it to people and be judged for it. Darn it to heck, you missed it.
That's right.
So with this contest, doesn't matter whether you think it's like, doesn't matter if you think it's good or not good. Send it in. Let us be the judge.
That's right.
And
that's right.
You never know. Your story that you think is not too good, or just something I wrote. Well, send it in. Let us help decide whether it should go farther or not.
Yeah, or whatever the category is. It's like, and again, we're not limiting your genres. We want all genres.
That's right.
So this is great. It's like, and also as well, it's like, we will do our own shameless plugs for everybody tonight also, in case that y'all wanted to have our shameless plugs. What would you like to plug tonight, Olaf?
I don't really have anything to plug right now. I'm kind of in between in between things, and I got a project coming up, but I'm not at liberty to speak about that just yet.
Excellent.
That was supposed to be a secret.
Yeah. And
Oh,
Arbor,
it is still a secret.
what
Well,
would you like to plug?
I would like to plug, as I did last week, uh, there have been more and more stories in the news these past few weeks about human trafficking. And I am working with the film company. We're making a movie about human trafficking, and some of the proceeds from this movie are going to go to some very worthy organizations that fight human trafficking all around the world. So if you hate human trafficking, and I mean, who doesn't? Right now, you can go to facebook.com/Richard dot Pochard, and that's P like Paul, O, S like Sam, HARD like David. You'll see some articles about human trafficking, and you'll see a place where you can donate. Right.
Yes.
We're trying to help raise money to put an end to this blight on humanity.
It's like, please don't let another incident like that have to go by. It's absolutely crucial and important.
Yeah, we don't want another San Antonio incident. If
No.
you've missed that, it's on that Facebook page.
And in Springfield, it's happening all over the Midwest and happening all over. It's like in Toronto as well and places like that. And it's just sad. And if you also want more information, www.pastlivesproductionsinc.net.
Yes. You can find out more about the movie that is going to be coming out. And I just want to just quickly add kudos to the Walmart employee in San Antonio who, as so many other people do in their lives, did not look away when he realized what was happening. He saved a lot of lives that night.
Yes. He is a shout out hero and deserves every kudo that he gets.
Yes.
Every single one.
Yes. Definitely.
Because he is a warrior. It's like we can end a lot of blights in terms of that. It's like human trafficking is horrible. It's like slavery and sex slavery in general, indenturing people to service is like one of the worst blights that you could possibly have.
And it's not just adults forced into sexual service, it's children too.
Children. Yeah. As young as 5 years old. And that's scary.
Yes.
So there you go.
So that's my plug.
Yep. And now, on that note, now that we've all done that, it's like, Olaf, how do people stalk you in social media?
Well, you can stalk me on both Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa. Just don't stalk too close because, and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
Arpo, how do we get you on social media?
Well, I've already mentioned my Facebook page. I'm always very sociable there. For more professional matters, there is LinkedIn. I'm trying to hang out at the forums for the Movies Underground. It gets harder and harder every day because I've been so busy lately. But hey, my Skype is always on, and I'm always willing to chat and just say howdy. So, you can reach me there, but do be sure to tell me that you are a fan of Movietime because there are too many Armenian women who are asking me to marry them, and it has to stop.
It's the beard. Maybe if you just got rid of the beard.
You wouldn't like me without my beard.
Yeah. like I said, that for me, you can get me on LinkedIn, Bizipedia, on Facebook, on Twitter at Sonata Grayson, at Movietime Indie, as well as also on www.pastlivesproductionsinc.net, as well as also with 4 pages of internet footage. If you can't find me, you're not stalking me hard enough.
That's right. And I know, because I've stalked her.
Indeed. Feel free to ask any questions that you like, and we will be seeing you on our next episode. Take care.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening.